The bishop Melitius of the city of Lycopolis in Egypt was causing problems of his own. Melitius was a high-ranking bishop, second only to Peter of Alexandria, and this is what made his misconduct and insubordination so troubling. Conflicting sources make it difficult to discern exactly what Melitius's main crime was, but the central issue seemed to be that he was unwilling to accept back into the church Christians who had renounced their faith under torture by Roman persecution. While most bishops were eager to accept those who repented of such action, Melitius refused. Even after being denounced as a disturber of the peace, Melitius continued to gain support. He ordained those who followed him, even from outside his own diocese, which was absolutely forbidden. At the time of the Council of Nicaea, the Milian Schism, the name given to his breakaway church, included dozens of bishops and priests. They called themselves the Church of Martyrs. The council tried to make peace with Melitius by allowing him to remain a bishop, but demanded that he quit ordaining outside his diocese. It ultimately didn't work out. His followers sided with the Arians and existed as a separate sect until the 5th century. The marriage of church and state, the results of the Council of Nicaea, included Arianism being denounced in no uncertain terms. Arius started the council with 22 bishops in his corner, but ended with only 2. What's more, Arius and his remaining supporters were exiled to Illyria in the Balkan Peninsula. Then Constantine ordered that all of Arius's writing be burned and that anyone found with copies of his texts be put to death. Those severe actions were seen as necessary for the Church to keep from self-destructing at a pivotal point in the history of Christianity. One of the long-lasting consequences of those decisions by the Council was that it set a precedent for the Emperor to use his authority to establish and enforce church rulings. If Constantine could declare that people must believe a specific concept about the nature of God or be put to death, then that has startling implications. The Council marked the first full swing of the pendulum for Christianity. In a handful of years, it had gone from a forbidden and persecuted religion by the empire to one inextricably intermingled with it. It built a society where the emperor himself ruled based on theology and ruled over that theology as well. This tangling of church and state would subsequently be at the heart of European history for centuries, and pitted popes and kings against each other in their quests for power, caring more about peace than theology. A commonly repeated factoid about Constantine the Great was that he was the first Christian emperor of the Roman Empire. Constantine is well known for his dream-inspired conversion, in which a Christian symbol led him to victory in battle. Following that came the Edict of Milan, which made Christianity legal within the Roman Empire. This rule led to the building of some of the most famous churches in the world, including St. Peter's Basilica and the Hagia Sophia. Constantine also, of course, convened and oversaw the First Council of Nicaea, a pivotal moment in Christian history. However, by the time of the council, Constantine hadn't even been baptized. This despite his professed conversion following his prophetic dream some 13 years prior. Constantine would not in fact be baptized until he lay on his deathbed in 337 CE, believing it was best to be forgiven of his sins as emperor all at once. There is actually a great deal of evidence to suggest that for most of his life, Constantine worshipped the sun. The Arch of Constantine, a triumphal monument that stands to this day, was built after his official conversion, but bears no symbols of Christianity. It doesn't even have the Chi symbol to which he attributed his famous victory. While Emperor Constantine I did not change the Sabbath day from Saturday to Sunday. However, he did make Sunday a day of rest in 321. The Jewish Sabbath is observed on Saturday, the 7th day of the week. It commemorates the day God rested after creating the world. In 301, Constantine issued an edict that made Sunday the first day of the week. He also introduced Christian holidays with fixed dates, and Easter with a flexible date. In 321, Constantine issued a civil decree that made Sunday a day of rest from labor. The decree stated that judges, city people and craftsmen should rest on the day of the sun. Some believe that the Sabbath was changed to Sunday in the New Testament, However, the New Testament does not teach this, and apostles continued to keep the Sabbath on Saturday after the resurrection of Jesus. Constantine the Great commissioned new copies of the Bible, but he didn't change the Bible itself. In 331, Constantine commissioned Eusebius to deliver 50 volumes of scripture to the churches of Constantinople. These volumes were likely gospel books, not complete Bibles. Constantine also helped spread Christianity by funding church construction and calling councils of theologians to address doctrinal issues. Constantine made Christianity the official religion of Rome. He also made Sunday a day of rest from labor. Constantine converted to Christianity in 312 after defeating Western Emperor Maxentius at the Battle of Milvian Bridge. He credited the Christian God with his victory. Constantine's other accomplishments include building the Arch of Constantine, which was one of the most impressive structures in the Roman Empire: administrative reform, financial restructuring, and military reorganization. Constantine the Great changed Christianity by making it legal, supporting its growth, and helping to establish its doctrine. In 313, Constantine signed the Edict of Milan, which made Christianity legal and ended the persecution of Christians. The edict also returned property that had been taken from Christians, supported the growth of Christianity. Constantine supported the construction of churches. He commissioned new copies of the Bible. He summoned councils of theologians to resolve doctrinal issues, helped establish Christian doctrine. Constantine defined heresy in relation to earlier Christian views. He supported the Gospels of Mark, Matthew, Luke, and John, set a precedent for the Christian emperor. Constantine became a great patron of the Church and set a precedent for the position of the Christian emperor within the Church. Constantine's actions are sometimes referred to as the triumph of the Church, the peace of the Church, or the Constantinian shift. The name Jesus was formed at the Nicaea Council. They wanted to join the Jewish religion on with the Roman religion. The Jewish God is Yahweh, which translated in some cases as Jehovah. Jehovah is an English translation of the Hebrew name for God, represented by the four letters YTBUOT, called the Tetragrammaton, which is believed to mean I am that I am, or he who causes to be, based on the Hebrew verb to be. However, the exact pronunciation of the name in ancient Hebrew is unknown and considered too sacred by observant Jews to say aloud, with Adonai, meaning my Lord, often used instead. Due to its sacred nature, Jews traditionally do not pronounce Yeh-dot and instead use substitute words like Adonai. The Romans worshipped Jupiter, the Roman equivalent of the Greek god Zeus. Jupiter was the king of the Roman gods and was considered the protector of the Roman state. Constantine wanted to bring the Romans and Jews together under one system, so they took Yah off of Yahweh, which is Jehovah, which become Jah. So you have Jah, right? Since the Roman worship and gave hail to Zeus, they combined their god Zeus with the Jewish god Yah, or Jah giving you Jah Zeus. Hear it. The phrase hail to Zeus is a reference to the ancient Greek god Zeus. To hail someone means to greet or welcome someone with enthusiastic praise or acclaim, essentially signifying strong approval or admiration for them, like publicly calling someone a hero or a great achievement. But keep in mind at this time there was no J in the language. Watch now, the Romans spoke Greek and Latin, which is of the same origin, in Spanish, Latin, and Greek, which is of the same origin. The letter J is not typically pronounced like the English H, but rather as a strong guttural sound from the back of the throat, often described as a harsher H sound. However, in certain regions and dialects, particularly in parts of Latin America, the J can sound softer, closer to an English H, due to variations in pronunciation across Spanish-speaking areas. The Spanish, Latin, Greek name for Jesus is Jesus. It is pronounced Jesus. The name is spelled with an accent on the final U, Jesus, as hail to the Greek Roman god Zeus. They even used the image of Zeus for Jesus. Since the Greek was against the divine feminine, they hid the worship of the Black Madonna, Jesus' mother, through the changing of the name from Isis to Jesus. Jesus is the ancient Greek form of the name Jesus. In Arabic, Isa is a form of the name Jesus. It can also mean God is salvation or God's gift. Keep in mind, in Islam, they worship Diana, which is another name for the Black Madonna, St. Mary, Marie, Inanna, Asset and Isis. Who was Jesus' mother? Still to this very day, the Pope and his buddies go in their secret closets and get on their knees to Big Mama, the Black Madonna. They know it's mother and son. Jesus' name was never Jesus, the boy's name was Yahshua, the Messiah. The halo on their Jesus' head, as depicted by the Christians, symbolizes the rings of Anshar Saturn as bright as the sun or the soul of the solar system. When the Son of Deity died with a crown of the thorns on his head, the crown of thorns on his head is symbolic of the sun's rays. The Catholic Bible has 73 books. Some people say 72, the Protestant only 66. Why is that? Were those 7 books removed by the Protestants or added by the Catholics? Most importantly, do they belong in the Bible? The Catholic Bible also contains additional passages in the books of Esther and Daniel. It's important to note that the Catholic and Protestant New Testaments are identical. They both contain the same 27 books. Some books that are mentioned in the Bible but are not included in the biblical canon include the Book of Enoch, the Book of Jasher, and the Book of the Wars of the Lord. The King James Version of the Bible separated 14 books from the rest and called them Apocrypha. The Confession stated that these books were not divinely inspired and were not part of the canon of Scripture. The Gospel of Thomas is not in the Bible because it was rejected by early Christians and contains controversial material. The Book of Enoch is not in the Bible because it was not considered valuable enough by the Council of Nicaea, and it was inconsistent with the new belief system. The Book of Enoch exposed God as being a group of beings, not one God, and that these angels or beings were extraterrestrial. The word for God in the beginning of the Bible is Elohim. Elohim is a Hebrew word that is grammatically plural, and Elo is the singular. So it was a group of gods. The Gospel of Barnabas is not included in the Bible because it contains significant historical and doctrinal errors after the Council of Nicaea point of views, most notably portraying Jesus as not claiming to be the God and not dying on the cross, Jesus getting married and having children, which contradicts the core beliefs of Christianity presented in the canonical Gospels. Essentially, it presents a different and incompatible version of Jesus' life and teachings, making it unsuitable for inclusion in the Bible. We will get into King James and William Shakespeare on another tape. The Council condemned Arianism and declared that Jesus Christ is true God from true God, begotten, not made, consubstantial with the Father. The Nicene Creed, a statement of Christian belief, was formulated at the Council to solidify the orthodox understanding of Christ's divinity. This council marked a crucial moment in early Christianity by establishing a unified doctrine regarding the nature of Jesus Christ and setting a precedent for future ecumenical councils. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more grunge videos about world history are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.